Hello, good evening, and thanks for joining us. It's Saturday, 9th June 2018. Welcome to Off Script on Lagos Television. Off Script is that program that takes you off the usual narrative of all the events and happenings around us. Just last week, we took a look at domestic violence, another look at domestic violence, and we also concluded that it's better to leave in order to live when there's any skirmishes around your relationships or marriages. Okay, I am Adetola Kayode, and we enjoin you to follow us on our social media platforms. It's Oscrate LTV on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course you can also go on to lagostelevision.com and of course all our social media platforms. Today we'll be taking a look at mentoring as a tool for national development. Stay tuned, we'll take a short break to bring you Off-Grams.
Your watching Off Script on Lagos Television doesn't have to end here. We can continue the conversations online.
Okay, we take a few reactions from Facebook posts. We have this post from Quadri Adelawa.
It's all about you.
This week on Off-Grams. Funny stories on Off-Grams this week. What should we call this? At Instablock Ninja, man seen using excavator as ladder in order to reconnect an electric cable that caught in Yaba, Lagos. Trust my country people now. Always coming up with creative comments. At @IAM_@million. It's so simple. You can't change blacks' mentality, but you can change the ideology that bonds us. Hashtag my people are creative. Hashtag my people aren't lazy. At Power101, Yaba. We all know there are too many side wolves on the left side of Yaba now. At Tech.23, hey, no be why I dey connect back. You know since when the guy get light last? I beg, leave am. Maybe not even our area wire be that. On to the next one. Kasala burst and man left confused after his second meeting with the couple he helped 3 years ago. At Promise Ebitu, he said, 3 years ago, I met this couple at Ikeja City Mall crying and begging me for harms that their sick baby is dying in the hospital and needed 75,000 naira. I gave out 25,000 naira, being sympathetic about the child. Today, I met the same couples again with the same storyline. What can we call this, my people? Is begging a business now? This person sees it as ruins. At _Oluchi_. People are actually ruining things for those who are genuinely in need of help. At Shubo83. 3 years ago, their sick child was really dying. Now, their dying child is really sick. You go fear Naija with Mumu format. Yahoo kind of couple. At Chooks, begging is a lucrative business in Nigeria, especially in Lagos. On to the next one. Nigerian man raises awareness after discovering a snake under his gas cylinder. Please always check the bottom of your cylinder. This guy creeps underneath it. At Marak_, went a bit further with the enlightenment. Not only cylinder, including air conditioners, sofas, under the bed, under the toilet seat. The snake can hide anywhere. And here is a confirmed Ninja guy at Amza_. Let him remain there as long as it's not disturbing me. I won't disturb it. And you know what? He might just deliver 36 million to me. What? Well, till next week on Off-Grams, Ramadan Kareem.
Your watching Off Script on Lagos Television doesn't have to end here. We can continue the conversations online.
Okay, we take a few reactions from Facebook posts. We have this post from Quadri Adelawa.
about you. Your watching of script on Lagos Television doesn't have to end.
Well, thank you for staying tuned. You're still watching Off Script on Lagos Television. Today on the show, we'll be taking a look at mentoring as a tool for national development. Well, you can also say it is a strategic tool in order to retain and attract some form of leadership qualities and, of course, to get ready for that position. Okay, that's what we'll be discussing today on the show. I have two gentlemen in here, and they are professionals in there. Right, Abiola Salami, also known as Abiola Champ. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Is a life coach, a business coach, and business coach. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Hamid Buhari is a sociologist and a techpreneur, and of course, a presidential aspirant. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, then, when we talk about mentoring, is it alien to the Nigerian society?
For Nigeria, for Africa, we like to hear big words. So we like to throw words out there, tech, mentoring, and different kinds of words. But from our historical antecedent, culturally, before the colonial masters even came around, mentoring has been what people do around, father to son, you know, son to somebody learning on the job, to a boss, an apprentice to a job, and an apprentice to a boss. So mentoring it's always been, and the only thing is nowadays people talk about it, but only a few people pay attention to it, because nowadays many people think they know when they don't know.
Okay, many people think they know when they don't know. Do you also agree to that? I will making use of mentoring in the right direction.
Well, what Abiola said is true. A lot of us today believe we know. And that is because the source of information at our disposal is all over the place. And so as opposed to allowing yourself go through the process of receiving this information in the right format, at the right pace, at the right time, you decide you just want to go gulp it all together and believe you have the right information. So you can have the right information, but how you now dissipate that information will now become the next big challenge. And for me, with regards to the Nigerian context and mentoring, I think our system is actually having some issues right now, because as much as some people are prepared to mentor, they're not allowing you to now, you know, express yourself. And now this is the next biggest problem we have, not just with leadership, but in the way we run our lives.
Okay, well, if we have issues with the way we apply, for example, he mentioned that, okay, some people want to be mentored. There are some mentors, there are mentees. Do you have to have a one-on-one contact with your mentor or mentee?
You know, Ahmed made a great point now when he said that those who want to mentor, who want to be mentored, they're not having platforms for expression to even mentor themselves. Now, mentorship, you don't need a one-on-one relationship with a mentor. And there are certain things you need to check out to even choose who would mentor you. that he's rich doesn't qualify him to be your mentor. You know, that he's popular doesn't qualify him to be your mentor. Somebody that he has 1 million followers on Instagram doesn't qualify him to be your mentor. Now, the person has 1 million followers on Instagram, the person is an influencer. Right? Mentorship has influence, yes. But the fact that the person has that 1 million followers and can influence doesn't mean the person should influence you. Mentoring doesn't have to do with you opening up social media and listening to somebody dishing out tips to you on how to do so and so when the person has not even tried it before. So what you want to do to seek out a mentor, you don't necessarily need to have a one-on-one with the person. What you need to do to seek out the mentor is the word credibility. So you want to be sure that this individual knows what he or she is saying, and that exactly is what he or she is practicing, because nowadays people lie a lot. You know,
Practice what you preach.
Exactly. People lie a lot. I mean, based on what I do, I remember the other day I was invited to speak at a very big platform, you know, and it was all women. You know, I have a book, by the way, that says "Who Says It's a Man's World." So that was why that was why I was invited to that platform. Very big platform, and I was the only gentleman on the faculty. Every other person, lady. And so this lady got up stage, spoke to us, told us about how she manages her family, her marriage. She's a top corporate leader. I mean, I got up, I was clapping as well that, man, I need to meet your husband. You know, I like the way both of you agreed to, you know, to manage yourselves.
Somehow.
And then a few days later on, her cousin, who came for that program with her, said to me that the lady lied all through on stage. Man, I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken because I know the things she said, some people in the audience would have gone ahead to make a decision.
And take it home.
You know, based on what they just heard. So it's important to know before you even listen to anybody teaching you, you want to be sure the level of credibility of that individual. And credibility is practicing what you preach.
Okay. For you, you're gunning into politics.
Yes.
And do you have a mentor? Do you have somebody, or let me just say that, do you think, I don't want to say if Nigerians are credible enough, but towing that line, do you think it's something encouraging for you to also get into, they say, the murky waters of politics?
Well, I think politics is very complex, especially when it comes to the Nigerian polity. Because if we look at it from every perspective, you hear people say things like, oh, we like what you're trying to do, we like the fact that you're running for the highest office of the land, but we think you should have started from a lower office. You should have started from a local office. Maybe you should have been a chairman and then become a rep member and then, you know, pick it up from there. And we say to them that we have had people in the past who decided to do that. But you see, because of the complexity of our politics, most of those people are unable to express themselves because these mentors that they meet within the political fray do not allow them to express themselves. So that is where the issue of godfatherism comes in. So a godfather, in fact, the way it's been run in this country, you see somebody who has mentored you, prepared you for the big task, and then tells you, don't apply it.
Oh, wait a while.
Don't apply, because for him, in many areas, he's thinking, if I do allow this guy apply all the things I have given to him, he's going to outshine me. And I don't ever want him to outshine me. So there's this mindset of our people that we need to, you know, loosen up and eradicate and clean out, so that people will stop having the superiority complexity or inferiority complexity, as the case may be, that you have mentored somebody and he outshines you or performs better than you. It should be pride onto yourself.
It should be a plus.
That my son grew up and became better than me. A boy that I picked from nowhere has become somebody that I am so proud of. And whether he mentions my name or not, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that I have impacted on humanity in a positive way. So right now on the political scene, what we're trying to do now is what has actually created the stir across board to say, will young people truly emerge? Because for me, the way Nigeria has actually gone in the last few years, say 40, 50 years, is so bad that some of the only ways we can remedy this problem is to start again with the right mindset and the right kinds of people.
How do we start again with all of this? Some people say if the let's say one of the older books say if the foundation is faulty, how can the righteous stand? But how do we, at this point in time, can we still get it right, or how can we get it right?
So this is enshrined in two words. The first one is personal, the second one is responsibility. So I put it together, personal responsibility. If we want to move forward, if we want to birth the country, our nation into that country we've always talked about and hoped for. It is about every individual taking personal responsibility for ensuring that both rights and responsibilities are attended to. You know, one of the things you mentioned about a mentor, and that person is not a mentor, by the way. You know, it's about an individual who trains someone, and the person says to the apprentice, you know, that don't apply it because of fear of outshining him. One of the joys of mentorship is understanding that you give to a generation what you will not live to enjoy. You know, that is mentorship. Between a father and a son, for example, or a father and a daughter, let's just say parents and children. Parents send their children to school. Parents give their children the very best that they can get.
Yes.
When you ask an average parent, why are you doing this for your child? They will say, so that the future of this child is secure. The parent is not assured whether he or she will see that future or not.
True.
But the parent is putting things together so that my children can inherit something, so that when I die, they will not suffer. Those are conversations you hear from an average parent. And so what we need to start to see regarding taking personal responsibilities is when we see people who are supposed to be mentors, who are, and please mark my words and note the words I'm using carefully. Not everybody is a mentor. Not every elder is a mentor. Not even every elder statesman is a mentor, right? Mentorship shows in the much that you can give without expecting. The gentleman said that we'll make a living by what we get, but we'll make a life by what we give. So mentorship is more about what you give and not expecting back from you. Mentorship is about sowing a seed and not expecting it to germinate, that you reap the fruit in your lifetime. So the reason we are talking about mentorship as a tool for personal, for national development today is because there are people who want to perpetuate themselves in the system. And note this, it's not about an age, it's not an age thing, because you could be 18 or 80 and you could have attributes that qualify you to be
a mentor.
I mean, you could be 18 and you have attributes that qualify you to be a mentor. It's about your character, it's about how you behave, and you can be 80 and there's nothing to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's about taking personal responsibility for ensuring national development.
Okay then, you're still watching our script on Lagos Television, and we'll take this short break to get some other perspectives, and we'll be right back on this show. Stay with us.
Your watching of script on Lagos Television doesn't have to end here. We can continue the conversations online.
Okay, we take a few reactions from Facebook posts. We have this post from Quadri Adelawa.
It's all about you.
Well, thank you for staying tuned. Right about now, you can be part of our discussion by calling 0811-266-8143. 0811-266-8143 is the number to call. You can also send in messages to 080-5521-3149, 5521-3149. You can tweet at us at OffScriptLTV or at Tbrains, TEEBRAINS. Okay, still talking about mentorship, and in our kind of society where a lot of younger people look up to older people, and but in some other ways, in their own rights, in their own ways, do you think young people generally in this country have some form of misplaced priorities when it comes to seeking out or looking up to mentors?
You know, generally, I get this question a lot from a lot of people. Oh, this generation is a generation of unfocused people. They're so distracted. There's so many things they worry about that they shouldn't be worrying about. But I keep letting people understand one thing. It's what you put in that you get out. So if, like the people are saying, garbage in, garbage out. And there's a lot of it going on right now in our society. We've seen our parents do some of these things, and we want to do those things. We've seen our politicians do some of these things, and many people want to do these things. Sometimes when I sit down with a age bracket of people way younger than me, when I say things that I saw in the 80s, they go like, is it possible? Are you lying to us? Because they don't believe anything like that did exist. this is not our responsibility. Because for me, I look at our generation and I think we're the last link between the young and the older generation to let the people understand that there were some good morals, there were some good values, there were some good views that we all had as a people that actually moved us up to where we got to before this whole distraction truly started. And this whole distraction truly started from, in my opinion, when the politics started playing in. And because the politics came in and wasn't put in proper check or proper perspective, people abused it. People are still abusing it. So right now what we're looking for is a generation of people who would say, you know what, before we lose it all completely, let us hold back. And like he mentioned, he said that person you're talking about is not a mentor. But the society believes that people like that are the mentors. For many reasons, it's either going to be religion or age. And they'll say, traditionally, you should listen to him. From a religious perspective, you should listen to him. So what we're saying now is, age is not a function of good leadership or good mentorship. It is not that. It is the competence, is the ability to provide the relevant kind of information to the people and how you provide this information.
Be responsible.
And be responsible, because it's one thing to say this and do the other thing, because people are watching and it's what they see that they become. Somebody said, oh, this young generation, when they emerge, they're going to start buying cars all over the place. And I said, what would you expect when they've been seeing old people that have been buying jets all over the place?
Okay, please hold your thoughts there. I think we have a call. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, good evening. Yes, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Joseph Ozemoji. I'm calling from Lagos.
Thanks for calling. Okay, thanks for calling. Please go ahead with your contribution this evening.
Yes. On the topic mentoring.
Yes.
Is it possible to have a mentor by process that is somebody you don't know, but you can learn from what he does through maybe his preaching or her preaching? The person may not even know you, or you may not even know the person.
Okay.
But by reason of your listening to his preaching, you can pick some attributes from him that are what emulating. Can you have a mentor by process?
All right, thank you for your question. I will allow Abiola to answer that question.
Okay, true. Yes, you can have a mentor by not having a one-on-one. I think that's
By
one of
proxy,
the first thing.
we talked about it earlier.
We talked about by proxy. So by following the person, the person's an author, writes books. You can read books. Or some other platforms, maybe social media, where the person posts and shares and says. But what is critical is you need to be sure that what you are getting is guiding you rightly. Not just because the person has a platform to share. You want to be sure what the person, there's this thing about do as I say, not do what I do. So you want to be sure, you want to be really, really sure about that. And in addition to that, it's important to also have a mentor that you can have one-on-one with. That is good too. But when you are seeking mentors, there are certain things you need to check out. Ahmed mentioned one, competence. You need to be sure about the person's ability to deliver on what it is that you are looking for. Secondly, credibility. You want to be sure that what the person is saying he or she is doing is what he or she is doing, right? Compassion. You want to be sure that this person will have time for you. There are some people, they only have time for their children, for their relatives.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Colin Hassan. Colin Hassan Stan Labo.
Where are you calling from?
Lagos.
Lagos.
Here in Lagos.
All right, comrade, thanks for calling. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Well, I just want to say I appreciate what the young men out there are doing. Okay? And yes, I just want to say I appreciate what the young men out there are doing.
All right. Okay.
And
you're still listening via your TV. Once you get connected, please mute the volume of your TV and go ahead with your contribution. Okay, a whole lot rests on this generation to right a lot of wrongs.
Right.
But then, should it only rest on them? Do you think?
No. I've always said these things. Like for me, I'm going to allow Viola take control of his own field, which is of course has to do with mentorship and building people and things like that. For us, we've found ourselves in the political space, and so if we want to right these wrongs that have beclouded our system, it's important for us at this juncture to understand that we can't do it alone as a generation. has to be collective. And when I say it has to be collective, we need everybody on board. We need young people. We need old people. We need men. We need women. We need people of different social statuses, people of different political party ideological affiliations, different people of different religion, people of different cultural values, to say, okay, you know what, our systems are failing. What do we have to do collectively to change it? Because, you know, one of the problems that have actually happened to the country in the last, say, 18 to 20 years is the fact that when the politicians came on board, they decided that for this country to have some level of rest, we should have somebody from this part of the country run a few years, from another part of the country in a few years. But what it has actually done to us as a people is we actually let that part of the country do what they want to do and get done, and we don't take part in it. And there's no way people can be progressive if they're not united. So only united.
We need a common front.
We need a common front. There is something that has to bring us together. There is something that we have to look up together and say, yes, I believe in this Nigerian dream. I belong to this Nigerian dream. That is the missing element as a people right now. And that is what we have to find. And the only thing that can help us find it is economic viability. So we'd have to look for a way to leverage on our comparative economic advantages. Those comparative economic advantages at the end of the day are the things that will bring you and I together, regardless of those things that we believe makes us the diverse people. Because at the end of the day, when we find a common goal that is going to benefit us, especially on our belly levels, because that's where it starts and ends. If we find it, we will not have any reason to fight ourselves. And this is what our country needs to start working towards.
Okay, we have a lot of people who still believe in this Nigerian dream. And also we have a lot of people who are giving up. A lot of people are taking the next exit out of this country.
Sure.
And we have over 180 million, more than half young people who still need to, you know, have at the back of their mind that this is the country they have. How do we encourage everyone to come on board?
You know, when you said that people give up, you know, the next exit that they have, over the past 3 months, I can't count how many people I know, how many people I know that took the Canada rush.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, they saw that as an option. I presume this question is for those who don't have any other option. I belong to that group. You know, I believe that he belongs to that group.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
You know, that we are not seeking, that we are not seeking other options because...
Not that there are no
there are other
options.
options.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and that's because we believe in the country. And it believes in the country, that's why it's running for president. Because we believe in the country, what we need to do for every one of us, we should understand that one, poverty is a tool that has been used over time
Absolutely.
to rob us of our self-confidence. We should know that first. Secondly, because poverty is a tool, we should ensure that we don't allow our hunger, right? And by hunger, I mean real belly hunger, no food.
Yes.
We should not allow our hunger to determine our opinion, not allowing our loyalty to be determined by opportunities.
Okay, please hold your thought, then continue later. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello, good evening. Okay, you still need to call, but please go ahead.
Okay. That we ensure that we don't allow our loyalty to be determined by opportunities. That we ensure that we're not guilty of the things that we are condemning. That we ensure that we're not privately condoning the things that we are publicly condemning. Right?
Okay, okay. Hello, good evening. Hello?
Good evening.
Yes, ma'am, good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Mentee.
Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Bagada.
Thanks for calling, Foluke. Please go ahead.
No, my name is Funke.
Funke. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Please go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
I have a question for Salami.
Okay, for Salami. Please go ahead.
My question is, Abiola Salami, if you identify someone and you like to mentor you, how do you approach the person, and how can you get the best of the mentoring exercise?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Funke. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Funke, for the call. So how can you approach the person and how can you get the best from the mentoring exercise? What you want to do is you want to be sure that you are not crowding the person or following the person, or stalking, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you very much. You want to be sure that you're not stalking the person. If you stalk anyone, you put the person off, right? So what you want to do is to approach the person from a place of value, that there is something you are doing that you think that that person will have something to add to. There are some people, their understanding of mentoring is just taking pictures with popular people, you know, and hanging out popular people, not deriving any value,
gains.
you know, from the person. So the first thing you want to be sure of is what exactly you want to get from this mentor. That is very important. Then from that point of view, approach the individual. Now, you can go for a conference or anywhere you think the person is, or somebody that knows the person that can do an introduction for you. Or if not, whatever it is, that thing that you are doing, do it so well, such that it may even be a pull and not a push at the end of the day.
Okay, do it so well so that it won't be a push.
It will be
but
a pull, yes.
All right. Okay, good evening. Hello? Hello, you're connected. Hello, good evening. All right, then. You can still call back. The number to call is 0811-266-8143. 0811-266-8143. We still have a few minutes to go on the program. You can also send in messages to 080-5521-3149. 5521-3149 is the number to send in your messages, actually. All right, Hamid. We talk about mentors, mentees, and how to find a place. We talked about stalking. How would you, at what point, you know, would it be stalking? Because some people might not know they're doing that, because at times you see, okay, for example, if I choose you and I start talking like you, I start dressing like you, I start, you know, at times you get people impersonating through that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I remember when we started this whole journey, I think in the first 6 months, I got a call from a friend of mine and said, are you on Badu? And I'm like, Badu? Which one is Badu? He said it's a dating site. And I'm like, a dating site? I'm like, no, I've never heard of it. He said, because your pictures are all over there and you've been disturbing one of my friends. So really, what you said is true. So now we're dealing with a lot. We're dealing with people who are impersonating. We're dealing with people who call me every day to tell me they just had a baby. Some are calling me to tell me, oh, my father just passed away. Some are telling me my mom is ill. Some are telling me, give me some money for school fees. Some are telling me all sorts of things. Some are saying, I just want your number. And so when the pressure comes so much, you go like, okay, fine. Maybe if I give this man my number, I will get some rest. And so you give your number to this person. And then he calls you, hi. I'm like, hello, good morning. I just said I should say good morning to you. I'm like, okay, what else? Morning. How is everything now? I saw your video and I said, thank you very much, thank you very much. You're fine. I said, I'm fine, thank you. And then he calls me in the afternoon. And he calls me in the evening. And every time. So you now, this is a true story. So I blocked him on my phone. I blocked his number. He can't reach me anymore. And then that was when I just got the biggest shocker. And every single minute that goes by, I see a post of me and he's insulting me. This is not the wrong guy. This guy is wrong. I hate this guy. Blah, 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 blah. So again, just to go back to what you said about the push and the pull, there's a thin line between love and hate. And so we would have to manage, if we have agreed to put ourselves in the position of mentoring or in a position of leadership, and we know that people are going to follow us, we would have to be careful on how we manage these people so that it doesn't move from this love and like and to something else that we can handle.
Another thing that we need to handle in this country is the influence of money. Okay, we already said that this country is our dream. We want to work towards it, make it the envy of all nations and all of that. But for example, when it comes to politics, how do we move away from the money politics so that everyone can be on board, everybody can vote with their conscience and not just look for gratification?
Okay, to answer that question, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So, no, I just want you to choose, which do you want, ideal or truth?
Both. Please go ahead with both, if you can manage both in less than
So the ideal is no money in politics. Vote for people with the ideology, you know, vote for anybody that is, vote for your conscience, you know, do whatever you think is, your conscience says, you know, whoever of the candidates that you think, you know, is credible enough, do it. That is the ideal.
Ideal.
That is what I would love Nigeria to get to.
Yes.
But we cannot get there in 2019. We cannot get there in 2023. Is that
Not
the next
yet.
time?
That's the next
Not
one.
yet.
We cannot get there. I don't see us getting there in the next 20 years. Money will still play big in our politics. Anybody saying that money should not or will not does not understand. You see, at times when I listen to some people, the first 2 minutes when you start to talk, I don't know whether you understand the situation or not. It is easy for you to create, you know what is called utopian, which is a state where we cannot get to. It's easy for you to start to
Build
create it with your mouth in the
And
minds
then
of
suspend
people.
it from the ground.
Right? In the minds of people, and everybody will clap for you that, wow, what an amazing speech.
Yes.
Which is why they say talk is cheap.
Right.
You know.
And these days, data is cheaper.
Go on it.
You know, so we should know that yes, money will still play big, but also, and this goes to politicians now, not the people, because remember I said that poverty is a tool that is being used. So there was a case of stomach infrastructure the other time. It was just given the name that time. It has always been before then.
Yeah.
It will be next year for all of them. Don't
Maybe
let-
with another name.
With another name. Don't let anybody say they are better than the other. You know, we know those things. But what we should do, politicians now, my recommendation for politicians is for us to start to see our people as human beings that we are supposed to be serving, not that we're supposed to be using, that we just show up when we need them and dole some small cash to them and then go back. Why am I saying that? Because in no time, it will bounce back. That the children that you are training abroad, that you them back into this place, it will just bounce back. And you realize that we would have done a disservice to ourselves by creating a problem in the future for our children, our children's children, where we will not be.
But can't we gradually,
Yeah, you know, when we started this whole race, for me it was more of a sensitization exercise to make people believe that they have something to offer, especially the young people. A lot of young people have actually disconnected themselves from the system. It's either they're doing Baba Ijebu or they're actually on Bet Ninja, or finally up north you go, you see everybody's on drugs, because they have totally lost hope. And for those of them who can still leave the country, they leave the country. For those who can't, they fall onto something that is going to give them some level of resolute in the interim. So if Nigerians want the kind of democracy that they've been yearning for, they'll have to be prepared to pay for it.
Okay.
Otherwise, they will be paid for it. What does this really mean? It means that at this very crucial time, we all have to come together and say, if we like this candidate, if we like what he's saying, we should prepare atmosphere, platforms where we could listen to them and say, okay, fine, we can support your aspirations. Otherwise, those same godfathers are going to come together again, give some particular people monies, and the moment they get into office, the first thing they're going to be thinking of doing is how to pay back.
Yes.
But at an interest rate that only they can determine, and at a return of investment time that only they can determine. So this goes on both sides, both from the politicians, like you mentioned, and the electorate. The electorate have to tighten their stomachs and make sure that that poverty, that hunger does not determine where their consciousness will lie or where their loyalty would lie.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I just have to take home from you your final word for Nigerians, especially the young people.
So
In 30 seconds.
30 seconds. So to every young person out there, the next election, vote. To every young person out there, the next election, come out to vote. Vote your conscience. But as you vote, understand that what you are doing is preparing 20, 30, 40, 50 years time for those that you are voting for may not experience.
Absolutely. 30 seconds for you.
Yeah,
too.
so for me, thanks for the opportunity, and I want every young person to understand that every one of us is a true Nigerian, but the ones with the PVC are actually, you know, truer Nigerians. So you need to have that PVC and make sure you use it on election days to vote for the right people. Make sure the ideology is right, make sure what they're saying is correct, and do not allow money politics play a role in how you make your decisions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on
Thank
to the show and
Appreciate
sharing your
it.
thoughts with us.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. All right, that's it on the show today. We thank you for being a part of it. Mentoring for national development. You need to look for one. You don't need to have a physical mentor to be a mentee. You have to choose the right one, credible ones, in order for you to build your own future, your kind of future that you want for yourself and, of course, for the nation itself. Thank you for being a part of it. Next week, we'll be here again. You can continue our conversations on our social media platform as Offscript LTV. Offscript LTV, thank you for watching. I am Aditola Kayode. See you next week.
Your watching of Script on Lagos Television doesn't have to end here. We can continue the conversations online.
Okay, we take a few reactions from Facebook posts. We have this post from Quadri Adelawa.